SLV has been draining for I think 5 straight days. That's not such a big deal in itself, but it's pretty rare when it happens when silver is climbing as fast as it is now. And I guess from the prices, from the spot prices, silver bottomed back in late September. It looks like, and it's been over 2 months from there. About 9. It's been about 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And the supply of silver in SLV has not really gone up much. It hasn't. I mean, it's only been falling the last 5 days, but it should have. It usually goes with the silver price, up with the silver price and down with the silver price. But now it's just it's not going up. Doesn't mean it won't. But it means that right now, at the present time at least, the paper traders, the chasers, the ones that aren't really interested in silver, they're interested in using silver as a vehicle to speculate. They're not really following this rally. It's not in the paper markets, at least not yet. We'll see if it goes into it, or bleeds into it, or not.
Yeah, I've got a chart here of silver, spot silver, and one thing I noticed the last time, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4 months here of higher prices, and of course, December isn't over yet, so we could still go down. But the last time we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of straight up for silver was from April 2020, and from that March low around 12, just below 12. And I think that move from here to here is 164%. I'm not saying we're going to do 164% now, but it looks pretty encouraging. 164% here would be, from this low here would be just below 50. The other chart that's looking interesting, if you look at the daily chart, there's the momentum traders. I don't know if you've heard of the turtle system. Basically, if you break a 22 or 55-day high, people go long. And you see, this is the highest level we've had since June. So it's clearly broken out. And the other thing that I just realized is that if you look at the close of silver last year, it was at 23.28, and we closed at 23.14. So basically, silver's unchanged for the year. People go, and you see the S&P is down 5. The Dow's down 5. S&P is down about 16%. And NASDAQ is down about 26. So, and gold, I think, is down 1%. So gold and silver now are doing really well in terms of, what they should do, that they're real money.
Mm. Well, they generally, they look forward. I mean, they look forward at the monetary situation.
Yeah.
So if they're going up, that means that there's a higher chance there's going to be printing sooner. But you also see it in the bond markets.
Yeah. And maybe I'll bring this up because you spoke about this in your recent video about Credit Suisse, the M2 chart. This looks really interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's M2 going. That's the U.S. money supply, right?
Yeah, M2. Yeah, that's from like 1959 up until now, and this is like you probably had a little bit of a dip here, in the 08 crisis. But I know there's a huge move higher, but now it's like really coming off, and you've spoken about how it's the most negative growth that you have in M2 since then. And usually this causes a big crisis as we've seen, like in 08 and 1987. But right now the asset markets, like you said in your video, are still doing relatively well because there's still a lot of money in the system. But maybe you could tell the viewers how you feel about this and what, you're speaking that trying to predict CPI and that it's going to smooth out is a mug's game. And I agree with you because the Fed is going to have to pivot soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the CPI that's going to determine the Fed's actions. It's going to be some kind of crisis developing in some part of the monetary system. Some bank somewhere is going to ask for help. And then the Fed's going to get a bunch of calls the next day from other banks that are being infected by it. You don't know exactly who it's going to be, what it's going to be, but it's going to be something, and it's not going to be the CPI. It's not going to be like the inflation all of a sudden comes way down, and then, oh my gosh, we need more price inflation, so they print. That's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
In terms of what I think about this chart, at times like these, I wish my old teacher Bob Wenzel was still alive, so he could, and I know what he would say. But really, it's hard to, it's impossible to really know, because the movement of the chart, since we're getting into the real parabolic phases of this. I mean, we had a real parabolic growth in money supply in 2020 and 2021, like the system has never seen before. And just looking, if you zoom out, you really see it. It's like it's vertical. So that followed by to be followed by the biggest drop in money supply growth annually ever, and you see that in that little curve downward afterwards that we're undergoing now. So a huge spike followed by a huge drop. What's going to happen? Eventually, there's going to be a collapse. The question is, how long is that lag? How much money is left in the system from the 2020 printing, and how much longer can it support the current capital structure? We don't know the answer, but it's not going to be